Glasya-Labolas, Ars Goetia 25. Glasya-Labolas holds the rank of president within the 72 spirits of the Ars Goetia, but this administrative title masks a primal, predatory nature. He is recognized as the primary architect behind senseless bloodshed and sudden acts of violence that defy any rational explanation. While historical texts mention his ability to teach the arts of invisibility, his true power lies in the immediate, lethal triggering of homicidal impulses between the most intimate of companions. Within a confined space of just a few hundred square feet, his presence can transform a peaceful room into a scene of carnage in a matter of seconds. The physical reality of his influence is staggering, often manifesting as brute force impacts measured in hundreds of pounds. Glasya-Labolas does not merely encourage anger, he effectively rewires the human survival instinct to perceive murder as a biological necessity. He is labeled the master of manslaughter because the deaths he orchestrates often appear as tragic accidents of intent but are executed with calculated brutality. This demon represents the chaotic void of a mind that has lost the ability to distinguish between a loved one and a target. Unlike entities that offer complex deals, he provides only a one-way path to a prison cell or a morgue, standing as one of the most physically dangerous spirits in the entire grimoire. Andras, Ars Goetia 63. Andras is documented as the red flag of the Ars Goetia, a great marquis commanding 30 legions of destructive spirits. His reputation for lethality is feared because he does not wait for a gradual psychological decline. He strikes with immediate and terminal violence. If the protective circle is misaligned by even 1 inch during a ritual, ancient protocols dictate that Andras will instantly slaughter the summoner and everyone in the vicinity. He is not interested in granting favors or teaching secrets unless those acts involve the total annihilation of your enemies and, inevitably, yourself. The terrifying paradox of Andras is his physical manifestation. A winged angel riding a black wolf, wielding a gleaming raised sword. This aesthetic beauty is a mask for a psychological virus that spreads discord and hatred like a wildfire across a radius of several miles. He functions as a catalyst for senseless war, infecting the mind until a person feels a compulsive biological need to destroy those they once cherished. Experienced practitioners warn that Andras has no concept of loyalty to the human who calls him. He is a predatory force of nature that views the summoner not as a master to be served, but as a victim to be harvested. Choosing to evoke him is the spiritual equivalent of playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded chamber. Beleth, Ars Goetia 13. Beleth arrives with a terrifying paradox. He is a mighty king who grants love, but does so through a process of total emotional subjugation. This entity does not inspire the gentle romance found in poetry. Instead, he triggers a state of forced, chemical-like obsession that can shatter a human heart. The danger lies in the sudden shift from deep affection to a toxic fixation so overwhelming that it has historically been linked to tragic mass suicides where victims choose death over the agony of unrequited longing. Unlike other spirits that demand blood, Beleth feasts on the slow decay of the summoner's emotional autonomy. He commands 85 legions, and his entry into the ritual space is marked by a sudden freezing chill that can drop the temperature by several degrees Fahrenheit in an instant. This cold is a harbinger of the emotional winter he brings to those who fail to control him, leaving their hearts as frozen as the air around them. To interact with this king, the summoner must wear a silver ring on the middle finger of the left hand, held constantly against the face. This is a shield against the entity's foul, sulfurous breath that possesses the power to snap a person's willpower in just a few seconds, leaving them a permanent slave to their own desires. By the time a practitioner realizes the love they received is a hollow imitation, their psychological defenses have usually crumbled into dust. Beleth serves as a chilling case study on how the forced pursuit of happiness can lead directly to a self-inflicted grave. Paimon, Ars Goetia 9. A silence so profound it starts to scream usually marks the arrival of Paimon. While many recognize this king through the lens of modern cinema, the reality in the grimoire is far more invasive and terrifying. Most expect a demon to attack from the outside, but Paimon targets the inner ear. His grand entrance is heralded by a persistent, maddening cacophony of spectral brass instruments that vibrate directly within the human skull, causing agonizing insomnia for victims across a radius of several miles from the ritual site. This is not random noise. It is a cognitive wrecking ball designed to wear down the human psyche until the boundary between reality and hallucination vanishes. The weight of his presence is literal. A person targeted by Paimon may feel a physical pressure of several pounds crushing their temples, a tangible reminder of the 200 legions standing behind him. He does not simply offer secrets, he demands a total surrender of the self. While other spirits might trade knowledge for favors, Paimon systematically occupies the host by purging their original thoughts and replacing them with frantic, maddening visions of forbidden sciences and secrets. You do not learn from him, you are hollowed out by him. He represents the danger of reaching for secrets that are loud enough to scream the mind into a state of eternal, fractured silence. By the time the spectral trumpets stop, the person you used to be has been replaced by a screaming, empty shell that has forgotten its own name. He is the deadliest intellectual predator in the hierarchy, ensuring that the price of forbidden wisdom is the permanent loss of the ability to think for yourself. This is the true meaning of cognitive erasure in the occult world. Astaroth, Ars Goetia 29. The most dangerous lies are always wrapped in 1,000 truths. This is the specialty of Astaroth, a great duke who lures the ambitious into a neurological trap. Before he even speaks, the air becomes heavy with a physical price. The duke emits a breath so foul and toxic that it is known to cause permanent nerve damage and respiratory failure in anyone standing within his reach without protection. This physical decay is a perfect mirror for the mental rot that follows. Astaroth does not just deceive, he provides accurate data about the past and future to build a fortress of trust, only to insert a single malignant falsehood that ensures your eventual ruin. His influence turns your own intelligence against you. He specializes in feeding your ego with subtle, malignant lies that cultivate a sense of extreme intellectual arrogance, eventually driving the summoner into a state of complete social isolation and lonely death. You begin to feel superior to everyone, convinced that you are the only one capable of unlocking the final secrets of the universe. Soon, you find yourself trapped in a house of 1,500 square feet, speaking to walls because you've decided the rest of humanity is no longer worthy of your presence. Astaroth doesn't need to steal your soul with a contract. He simply feeds your pride until you rot in the silence of your own perceived brilliance. Knowledge without humility is a death sentence, and by the time you realize you're wrong, you've already spent tens of thousands of dollars on forbidden artifacts that offer no way back. He devours the very essence of what it means to be a social, connected human being, leaving behind a brilliant mind that has forgotten how to love or interact. This duke ensures your mind remains a sharp but utterly empty palace of self-delusion. Asmodeus, Ars Goetia 32. If Paimon takes your mind and Astaroth takes your pride, Asmodeus takes everything else. He is a king who reigns over the slow, agonizing destruction of the human vessel through the weaponization of pleasure. While most seek him for wealth or carnal satisfaction, they quickly find themselves trapped in a cycle of escalating addictions that drain their bank accounts of tens of thousands of dollars and wither their bodies by dozens of pounds in a matter of months. This physical decay is not a side effect, it is the goal. He feeds on the frantic, unsustainable pursuit of the highs he provides, leaving the practitioner a skeletal remnant of their former self, devoid of any vitality or true human joy. The real terror of Asmodeus is that he is a master architect of social collapse. He specializes in dismantling the foundations of the American family structure by converting fleeting moments of gratification into unbreakable chains. Relationships that took years to build are incinerated in days as the summoner's priorities shift entirely toward the entity's demands. He transforms the bedroom and the boardroom into a private prison where the only currency is your own degradation, ensuring that once you have the money and status he promised, you have no one left to share it with. As the addiction takes hold, the weight of his presence can be felt as a crushing 100 pounds of pressure on the chest during sleep. You are left standing in a hollow life, realizing that the pleasure was never the gift, it was the bait for a trap that has finally snapped shut on your existence. Asmodeus proves that some deals offer the world only to ensure you are too broken to live in it. Every fleeting high is just another nail in the coffin of your former life. Bael, Ars Goetia 1. Bael stands as the first king of the Ars Goetia, commanding 66 legions and offering the seductive power of invisibility. In a world obsessed with surveillance, the ability to vanish seems like a god-tier advantage, but the price is a horrific erosion of physical and mental reality. This is not the invisibility of comic books. It is a form of psychological erasure that induces a state of paralyzing paranoia, where the summoner begins to doubt their own existence when looking into a mirror. You don't just become unseen by others, you become unseen by yourself, feeling as though your reflection is a stranger or has disappeared entirely from the physical plane. The most shocking evidence from those who have engaged with Bael is the report of social vanishing. Practitioners describe a terrifying phenomenon where after summoning Bael, the world seems to literally forget they exist, with friends and family members failing to recognize them or simply acting as if they are no longer there. This isn't just a trick of the light, it is the systematic removal of the practitioner from the fabric of reality. You may be standing in a room of 2,000 square feet filled with people, yet remain as isolated as if you were buried in a coffin 6 feet underground. The psychological toll often leads to the summoner wandering for miles without any destination, driven by a fear that their physical body is evaporating into the void. Bael rewards your desire for secrecy by making it permanent, leaving you to wander the earth as a ghost who is still breathing, but no longer truly present in the minds of anyone else. The ultimate horror of Bael is not that people cannot see you, but that they no longer care to look, leaving you in a state of eternal, invisible exile. Belial, Ars Goetia 68. Belial is the essence of lawlessness, a king who was created next after Lucifer and commands 80 legions of the most rebellious spirits. He is often called the Master without mercy because he demands a level of total, unwavering submission that leaves no room for human error. To summon him is to invite an entity that never displays even a single ounce of compassion, viewing the practitioner's suffering not with malice, but with a cold, mechanical indifference. If you fail to offer him the exact sacrifices he demands, the destruction he visits upon your life is absolute, crushing your social standing and physical health until you are left with nothing but bitterness and ruin. The darkest limit of engaging with Belial is the permanent deactivation of the human conscience. He grants power, political standing, and the kind of absolute freedom that most people only dream of. But the cost is the total evaporation of your moral compass. Once Belial has taken hold, you effectively become a high-functioning sociopath, a hollow vessel capable of committing any atrocity for personal gain without feeling a flicker of regret. You gain the world, but lose the very capacity to feel human. In a civilized society, you walk as a predator among prey, possessed by a cold, regal darkness that has replaced your soul. Belial does not just take your life, he takes the you out of it, leaving behind a powerful monster that has forgotten how to care about anything but its own throne. Every step you take is governed by his iron will, and every word you speak carries the weight of a 1,000-year-old rebellion. If you found this deep dive into the deadliest entities of the Ars Goetia gripping, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more forbidden archives. Thank you for venturing into the darkness with us. We hope this knowledge serves as a stark warning rather than an invitation to the abyss.